Good morning, good Wednesday morning on this July 30th. I'm meteorologist Byron Douglas. We're going to conclude with an alert day. It's going to finally end at 8 p.m. We'll have Casey and Mitch along in a moment, and this is our all streaming program at 8:30. I'll take this full here in a moment. I'm going to do that right now. Boy, we've had a rash of alert days. They've gone back 8 consecutive days, but this will end at 8 p.m. And these extreme heat warnings will not carry over into Thursday. Even though it's going to be humid on Thursday, we are going to be dealing with some cooler weather. I think you're going to love the 7-day here in a moment. A heat index, kind of a range of 104 to 112. Remember back on Monday, Jeff, the highest, I believe, of the season, we had a dew point of 80, and a heat index up as high as 115. So we'll be in that range again for today. And then as we go through tonight, at nightfall, we'll have some easing. We'll have that front that's going to cycle on through. And we'll take a look at the heat forecast. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll shout out some folks here in a moment. Here's a look at our extreme heat warnings. Includes all of our counties. This will end at 8 p.m. during that time frame. And as I mentioned, I don't think this will carry over to any additional days out over the next week or so. However, it's still summertime. And we have some folks on. I'm just going to say quick morning. Good morning to Nancy, Lacey. 81 in Henderson from Lacey Martin. We appreciate that. And they had quite a bit of fog down there back through Smith Mills this morning. William, good morning to you. Crystal, Eli, we do appreciate you tuning in. I'm going to push this full. And let's take a look at the heat index forecast. So some adjustments, still in that range there, up over 100 during that time frame. So maybe down just a little bit from yesterday. And then, of course, after 8 p.m., if you're going to wait and confine your activities to this evening, we'll be in better shape by then. Also, from the Storm Prediction Center, this is encouraging. We did have that level 1 threat for a few severe thunderstorms, generally north of U.S. Highway 50, even included Fairfield, but the Storm Prediction Center has kept it from St. Louis, Indy, up through Chicago, and up through about the Quad Cities, down through about Burlington and Keokuk, Iowa. And that's where the severe storms, they did drop that severe thunderstorm watch if you're doing any traveling up through Iowa. So a general risk, yeah, you could have winds there at 20 to 30, but generally not looking at any severe weather. Let's see where the threat markers are. We're not risk for virtually anything. There is a small chance of a flooding threat, but for these areas up along U.S. Highway 50, well to our north. On this date, we go back just 1 year ago. This is generally not tornado season, but we had a rash of tornadoes in July of last year. And then this was well warned for along the Vanderburgh-Warwick County line, was on the ground for about 11 miles, no injuries. It was a rain-wrapped tornado from the Ohio Township Fire Department, Rolling Hills, west of 61. Got started up there on Green River Road. We had a lot of videos from that storm 1 year ago. As I mentioned, there was no injuries. It was an EF1 tornado. And then on this date in 1999, we had a heat wave going that lasted several weeks. But this is finally going to ease. All right, let's go to Doppler radar. We'll make a few stops here on the board. No lightning across the viewing area. That line that's up through about Hannibal, Missouri. I mentioned Keokuk, Iowa, a little bit of lightning there. That line should weaken. And then it's just generally west of Chicago if you're doing any traveling, and then some showers up towards Milwaukee in those locations. Let's run down our temps. The last time we were below 90 was on Saturday, the 19th. Of course, we had record rainfall for the 19th. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And then we're going to fill in the mid to upper 90s again today. Yeah, 2.16 on Saturday, the 19th. So we're not looking at much in the way of rain. Whoa, the muggy meter is at 76. On Monday, we went as high as 80. So it does warrant this extreme heat warning. That is a big number. Now, tomorrow at this time, it still will be in the lower 70s, and then by Saturday morning, these dew points could cascade all the way into the upper 50s, and we'll see some of that as we go into Friday night. All right, let's run down some temps. 80 in Evansville, 80 in Mount Carmel, 79 in Madisonville. Here's a look at the cloud guidance. Some scattered clouds up there at 3,000 to 5,000 feet overall, but that will be about it. Hey, Sharon down in Central City, good morning to you. Millie, good morning. Good morning, Cheyenne and Samantha. Appreciate the shout outs. And Bill, good morning to you. I mentioned Casey in the house, so getting ready to take a look at the news. And the UV index is up at 10 at this hour, so about as high as you can go. As we go hour by hour, it looks like this. A few rogue thunderstorms as we go into the afternoon. Appreciate the shout out down in Central City. Going to be down in Muhlenberg County on Saturday. Looking forward to that road trip. Head down to Greenville. All right, let's go hour by hour. The winds are fairly light. This takes us to 4 o'clock, and then we're not showing much here in the way of storms. Now, tomorrow, generally we'll be clouding up as we go through the day. It still will be humid during the morning hours especially, and then a few showers and storms. I'm not anticipating any severe weather. All thunderstorms produce lightning, and I think they'll be moving along. The upper level winds are scooting along, so we do have an isolated flooding threat, but I think there we're going to be in pretty good shape. And then the sea winds will be out of the northeast during that stretch, so we're not at risk for anything on Thursday as far as severe thunderstorms are going during that time frame. And definitely we're good over the weekend. Boy, there's so much stuff going on this weekend. You got Strassenfest, you got Germania, Watermelon Festival at Owensville. I believe the parade is up there on Saturday. That gets started on Thursday. And someone sent me an email. Don't forget about the Edwards County Fair. That's been going on. I believe they have it looks great for the tractor pull there tomorrow night up at Edwards County. 87 Thursday, still humid. 81 Friday. This is early August. 83. I mean, if you want to stand up and to give some applause, go ahead. 84 on Sunday, 81 Monday, and then 83 on Tuesday. All right. Good morning to everybody. I appreciate all of you. We're going to have Mitch and Casey. I got on a couple minutes late. Saw a lot of buttons in here, guys, and I was pushing them all. We'll talk to you soon.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Well, good morning, and thanks for joining us. It is Wednesday, July 30th, time for the news portion of the 8:30 show. I'm Mitch Carter.
That's right. I'm Casey Mason. We pulled some of our headlines from this morning's news that we wanted to share with you in case you weren't able to join us live on air, of course, today. This is kind of a recap, and we're meeting you where you're at with a few headlines that we think you would like to know about. Now, this first one, not necessarily local news here, but, of course, big news that we've been following. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the video here.
You got it. While she's doing that, we'll kind of go over this here. Continuing to follow breaking news this morning from Hawaii within the past few hours here. Hawaii's tsunami warning was downgraded to an advisory. If you watched this morning, we had that live this morning showing kind of live pictures there from the beach just south of Honolulu. It all came after a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake, Casey, struck off of Russia's coast.
Yeah, so what you're looking at right now, the video you're seeing is really folks evacuating when all of this was really starting to get intense there. Now, we learned, Mitch, crazy, this is the 8th strongest earthquake ever recorded. So I'm glad they didn't take this lightly, of course.
Right.
The coast is slowly returning back to normal now, levels kind of going back to where they were. But when the tsunami hit the island, it brought waves that ranged from a few feet to 6 feet high.
Yeah, of course, this led to flooded roads there. You see a harbor there full of boats, and a majority of land near the coast definitely saw some water there. All of it, of course, leaving thousands of people there evacuated from coastal areas and moving to higher ground. And that includes everybody on vacation and those that live there locally. One couple there listened to the evacuation order, and we have what they had to say.
I was in the shower. I just got out the shower getting ready for work.
We were getting ready for work.
Yeah, both of us. Yeah. And then we heard
We
the
were like,
alert,
should
and then
we go?
yeah,
Should we?
called work right away, and just wondering if they got it too, or and if they were worried about it, and if maybe they had any ideas of what was going on, and if we should go in or not, and waited a little bit, watched the news, and kind of thought it'd be safe to maybe stay home and just see what happens.
Well, the waves then moved towards the west coast, and the National Weather Service says higher waves have been reported in Los Angeles and San Francisco. However, though, officials say they aren't big enough quite to cause any widespread damage.
Yep.
Of course, continue to track this story all this morning. It was a close, scary call there,
Yeah.
but I'm glad things are finally calming down back to normal.
Absolutely. And now kind of coming more local for this next one here, kind of a more local headline. After 12 hours of deliberations, Casey, the jury has reached a verdict now in the murder trial of an Evansville man. Let me pull this lower third off the screen so you can see the full graphic there. Jonathan Bouza was found guilty of murder and possession of a firearm by a serious violent felon, and he was found not guilty of robbery. So Bouza is now convicted of killing 27-year-old Manuel Heaton in the Bluegrass Fish and Wildlife area back in April of 2023. Now, last night, that trial entered a second phase to determine Bouza's sentence, the state seeking life in prison for him without parole. Now, no word just yet on what was decided, but of course, as we learn more ourselves, we'll have it for you right here on 14 News.
Yeah, keeping things local too, we do have a traffic alert for our Evansville drivers. Starting today, one lane of eastbound Morgan Avenue will be closed. Now, this will be over Harper Ditch, which is near Theater Drive there. You're taking a look at a map we pulled for you. Officials say this is going to be for a structure repair that they're working on in that area. Well, the lane closure is expected to last through the beginning of September. Just a heads up for our drivers there.
Always big news there. And kind of going lighter here as we start to wrap this morning show up here. Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark, you may have heard of her.
Yeah.
Well, she returned to Des Moines, Iowa this week. Let me cut this audio so you can really hear us here. This was to give back to the community that raised her. The WNBA star hosted a school supply drive, and this marks the second year now she's hosted the event. Clark says the city means a lot to her, so she's always happy to come on back.
And being Des Moines, obviously this place means so much to me, and I hope to be able to continue to come back here and do this every year.
Yeah, while there, Clark also unveiled a new outdoor basketball court for the school. It was all funded by her foundation and a local lighting company.
Oh, that's
Very
wonderful. We love to see her giving back. Of course, school is on the horizon. Students, don't get mad at us. We're just the messengers. But yeah, lots of schools are going to be heading back next week, I believe. I know Gibson County schools, I think they start on maybe Wednesday. My daughter's very first day of school is going to be on Thursday. So if I'm crying on air, you'll know why. But yeah, lots of schools heading back. Of course, we have a back to school section over on our website, 14news.com, for all the fun things that you need to know
There
about
you go.
this time of year. So I can't
It's
wait
an
for summer
exciting
is
time of
coming to
year.
an end.
Yeah, I know. It went quick. It always does, I feel like, especially now that I'm getting a little older. I'm not old yet, but as I
No, we're
age,
not old.
I feel like the summer times are a lot faster when I was a kid. I'm sure a lot of you at home can relate to that. As far as today goes, Casey, a quick look at the comments here.
Yeah,
good
let's head
morning
on
to all
over.
you guys. We appreciate you hopping on here and chatting with us. Even the good mornings, very nice. We read them, we promise. Lacey, Sharon, Millie, Cheyenne, Samantha, William, and all you guys out there, we appreciate it. We got some viewers on right now, kind of keeping up with us here and talking to us. We appreciate that. But for now, anything
Hey,
else?
on our second to last day of July, folks, tomorrow's it. That's
Tomorrow's it.
crazy to believe. As you said, summer, she's slowly coming to an end.
Yeah.
But you know what? We will be right back here, same time, same place, tomorrow at 8:30 for another streaming show. And Mitch Byron and I will see you on the morning news tomorrow, bright and early.
Let's do it.
All
The rest of
right.
you guys out there, have a great day. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow for Thursday morning. Later on.